Okay, so we are live now.
Nice, cool. Hi, everyone.
Let's check in chat. So if people can hear and see us, I guess yes. Yes, definitely.
I can hear that you can
Okay,
hear yourself in the back.
yeah,
Nice.
yes, I made the final test. So hi everyone, thank you for being here. Thank you for keeping this time, for making it. This is Astro Park. We are here with Jay from RoundTableDAO, with Valentino from Fun Team, and
Funds,
Fun
funds,
Fans Team.
funds. Yes.
Yes, and we are happy to be here to doing this AMA together. So please subscribe to the channel, like it, and leave us your comment. Also, we have the chat, so feel free to ask your questions. We will pick the best ones, and the best ones will share a total price of $200. So the best five. So be sure to make your good question. Jay.
Yes, hi everybody. Welcome to the show. So basically, in today's cryptocurrency world, trading is getting harder and harder. Having to learn different tools and study hard to get even close to being anywhere successful. Now, one platform that has promised to give us the best edge possible by following the best traders of the game is Funds. Funds is the social trading platform promising to make social and copy trading simple by connecting retail investors with no experience to highly experienced traders using DeFi and smart contracts. Now, we have with us today Valentino Cremona, former CEO of AMDAX, the first Netherlands company to obtain custody and exchange licenses from the Dutch Central Bank. He is now the funds, tech, and operations manager, assuring to run things super smoothly and without friction for us. He's giving us a bit of his busy time to talk with us today about this wonderful new project. So Valentino, welcome to the Roundtable DAO show. And thank you for taking the time to talk with us today.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure. So where did the funds idea come from originally? Can you tell us some history? How did you choose this name?
Yeah, so actually, like Robin, who came, we did it. We spawned the idea essentially together. He was running this concept in centralized finance already with API integrations and stuff, and there was called Funds, and we took that name because it made sense. It's a silent U in there, but it's Funds, and yeah, I mean, it pretty much if you start saying the project in a word, it makes sense why it's called Funds. Because it has to do with all kinds of things of funds inside. So essentially, like the project was spawned, like the original idea is like in the DeFi space is I'm in crypto for a very long time now, about 10 years. And I've built, like you said, the company, the first centralized licensed exchange in the Netherlands on the regulatory side with compliance and everything. That was a major hassle. But there, essentially, what happened is that my network, my friends, my family, everybody that knows me as the crypto guy, and everybody ends up asking me, how do I do something? You know, like, how do I do this? How do I do this? Can you help me
totally
with this?
feel you.
Yes. So, and I think this is a common problem for a lot of people in crypto for a while. The entry barrier is like quite steep, so it can be really confusing coming in, especially now. There's so many like propaganda terms. You have the Bitcoin maximalists who are like honing down on shit coiners, you know, and like all of these terminologies which are super confusing for an outsider when they come in, which is like part of the in group, obviously. But coming in, it's very confusing. Most people don't know exactly what's going on, which asset to buy, like which coin is good. So essentially, friends of mine, they always ended up coming, and other colleagues, and there's really two options until now. Is like you either go get someone on there and connect them, make it a central exchange account essentially. So you give them Well, you would tell them you have to do your KYC procedure, get all your documents, which is a major hassle also, which is fine, but get approved, and then the timing might be off. And then once you're approved, then like, let's match off the logins, or like, I need to be there and coach you every time you log in and what to do and the interface and how to use it. And it's like, yeah, I remember when I started trading crypto in like 2013 or so, a Kraken at the time, that was so confusing for me. I remember I was a total noob and I had no idea what was going on. I had no idea what the interface was like doing here and there. I could have figured it out, but it's complicated if you don't know. So that's one option, right? So then you either like help them and you like call them and then they log in and you need to manage positions, and then like, oh, maybe you have a stop loss in place, but then you want to remove it. You know, it's just pain in the ass. So that doesn't really work. The other option is to essentially like get it connected via a centralized model, right, with APIs, and then you need to give access to API. But that model, the business model, is really weird. Like, you have to send invoices at the end of the day, chase. So for the people that are making the bots and stuff like that, it's not very great. Plus, you're not sure like what bots you're getting. You're not really sure about the P&L. It could have been tampered with. Since it's centralized exchange, it's not like on-chain data essentially, which can be validated. So that's not really an option. That's like so nice. And then the last option is like, yeah, you get them to essentially send you capital, right? You're like, okay, whatever, buy 1,000 I don't know, dollars worth of Ethereum or Bitcoin, and then send it to me, and then maybe you can do it for 20 friends. But at this point, you're an asset manager, not really allowed to do that in the traditional sense. So that's, but even if you were to do that, right, then what are you doing? You're essentially running a fund, right? You need to essentially calculate the P&L, entry and exit. You need to like deduct your fees. When are you taking the management, if that's what you're doing? When is the performance due? How are you calculating the high watermark? So exactly. Like it's at this point, you might well be running like an actual fund with admin systems in the back, and there's so much stuff going on, right? So it's like, okay, well, I just want my as an example, I just want my mother or a friend of mine to like, just go here, follow, here is the vault, just go and deposit into the vault, and everything else is fine. It's up to me, for example. Let's say I want to make a vault, and then I'm just, okay, you could whitelist it, for example, so that only the friends that you want can come in with MetaMask addresses, right? So you whitelist the IDs, and then you say, hey, this is my private vault for my friends and me, and they can just participate, but at least they all can deposit into that vault, and then everything is managed out of there essentially. Nice. So that's where the idea came from, is to make it super simple, to make the entry super simple for the trader, obviously to have some sort of trading environment, obviously, right, that they're used to. But for the retail user to simply come, see the on-chain P&L, essentially the trader profile, this is how they've been performing, this is how it was, this is one of the good ones, this is what they do, click, deposit, essentially, and get in. And one of the friction points, of course, is like having the fiat on-ramp here as well, right? So there's so many payment system providers at this point that have like widget HTML code that do the service themselves with the KYC AML, where they then essentially go through that provider, deposit into their wallet, and from that wallet, they can then just deposit into a vault. So that's kind of where the idea comes from, is it's to solve a problem that that I've encountered, or that me and the team have encountered in our personal like everyday lives for multiple for a while now. So this is the solution now that we're building for that problem.
This is great. How do you think your customers will benefit the most from your product, other than what you just told us, really?
Yeah, there's probably going to be like super crazy random like benefits coming out of this that are maybe not even what we're intending to do, simply by creating a vault, and you can decide the fees. So it's theoretically possible that people like end up making very low fees and just sharing stuff with each other, and then it ends up having some other dynamics that we're not aware of. But really what we want our clients are like the retail mass users. So what I did in the company before, it still stands, it's there, it's regulated, it's flourishing. There my idea was to make a on-ramp for big capital institutions and high nets, and that's successful, that's working. But as I was doing that, for example, I realized that a lot of institutions, for example, in Europe, right, this is where the on-ramp is built. Treasuries, for example, they're still debating the language of the of the words of what it is. Is Bitcoin money? Is it a commodity? They haven't even agreed on terms. So they're like
the basic slang,
well, the terminology, like what is it, right? Like they haven't even, like, a lot of them haven't even agreed on that. So like what you see is the first influx of institutions coming in, but even they are coming in so slowly. So really there's a lot of volume coming still out of the retail markets. And having been in the space for a long time and looking around, it just seemed like everyone's building in crypto terminology big brain products, a lot of them, you know. So it's it's complex to understand what's going on, and it's complex to know what you have to do. But if you are in the space, you understand what to do. But like, where are the mass retail products, right? Who's catering to that? So this is really where we come in, where we're trying to make retail products for people that are maybe not even crypto, you know, and they're just trying to find an easy access into the space without having to learn like this pile of content before they can make good decisions.
And how the platform will work? So will it be fully operational when the token launches? So copy trading from day one?
No, unfortunately, no. Like, so first we're gonna launch the token, and a couple of weeks later we're gonna have the product ready. We're working on the first MVP right now. That should be ready end of October, maybe.
Nice.
So fairly soon after there will be, our demo is now ready. We're getting the final front end demo. So we fixed all the screens. We're gonna have our demo environment, which is very clickable. We'll be sharing that soon as well.
Nice.
So you can get a feel and look for the platform. And in the back, we're currently hashing out the other smart contracts on the dependencies, deploying into testnet, for example, as well. So like there's plenty of stuff going on. But yeah, it won't be ready on day one.
Okay, well, that's fine.
Which exchanges or tokens will be available basically once the demo is done? Is Funds going to support both DEX and CEX options?
No, we're just doing decentralized. This is a purely DeFi product. So there's plenty of other like automated bots, you know, like copy trading, whatever solutions on centralized exchanges. But as you just saw with compliance, Binance, for example, now had to do the API removal, grant access for anyone who's not KYC'd. So there's various other challenges there happening on centralized exchanges, and we want this to be a purely DeFi product. On centralized exchanges, you still have to do your onboarding and everything. The idea here is that you just connect your wallet and you literally 1-click or 2-click deposit and you have exposure, you know, and you might be going through that little onboarding ramp in case you don't have capital in wallets yet, that you go through the payment service provider. So to really make it super smooth, frictionless, and fast just to get exposure. And we're going to be on decentralized exchanges. So we have Binance Smart Chain and ETH support from the beginning. As we grow, we are obviously going to connect into the other ecosystems. That's also dependent on the volume, the assets there, and the users, of course. So we will be making strategic expansions based on these criteria. For example, let's say the Avalanche ecosystem. Let's say. Yeah, for example, like Solana, let's see how many assets are on there and how many users and how much volume. It really depends on that. If we're trying to cater to retail, so as long as it's like niche and not enough people use it, then it's not very interesting to expand to.
Yeah. And do you have agreements already in place with some traders, crypto influencers, or how to grow?
Yeah, exactly. So we target trading communities. We get the best traders out of those communities. They will run contests. They will run their own leaderboards. So there's an entire plan on how to get traders onboarded and how to lock them in. So yeah, that's an ongoing process and that's ongoing work. And we currently have, I think, 150 traders that will start now. So we're trying to get to number to 1,000.
Very nice.
And then obviously Obviously on-chain P&L like results will show which ones are the good and the bad ones. So as time goes, you essentially get their track record on-chain as well. So that will be interesting to see.
You can't really hide.
Yeah. So it's very good to hear that you have all these traders coming in. What are the benefits of becoming a trader on funds, basically, like to get these people interested here? Is there any rewards for them?
Yeah, I mean, there's leaderboards, right? There's tournaments, so there will be rewards. There's like cloud chasing for leaderboards if you're amazing. It's a way to scale your returns, if you will. You can just scale it in an easier way. You don't need any sort of admin system in the back to do it. So it's just making everything much more simple. Let's put it that way. Like you don't need a backend admin software. You don't need the licenses. You don't need anything right now. The exchange is done via swapping protocols. So not via us. So that's not a licensed activity. The other licensed activity would be like holding the custody of the assets, which is also not happening. They're in the smart contract. So the user can redeem always. And we also structured, for example, to a DAO, so everyone from the ecosystem will be able to vote on the parameters that govern these votes as we go along, as the ecosystem grows.
Nice.
Very nice.
And plans and strategies for expanding the adoption of funds already in place? So we basically talked about these things.
Yeah. So obviously, the user experience for the retailer is at the heart of this. Traders will have more functionality to trade, ideally, than on the normal DEX experience that they know. Well, we're working hard on that, but really to keep the user experience at the heart of this, and UI, obviously, because like retailers just need nice products and they don't really care how it works. They just need to have a nice experience, and that's very much the focus. We also have like incredible people on board. Some are also in the background that you don't see officially on the website, and they're just incredible people that help us with strategies as well and expansion. I have network circles here. Then of course on the product side is the expansion to the networks that I mentioned. Depending on their criteria and how many users, volume, assets, whatever they're offering, we will then be expanding into those networks as well to offer copy trading there. Operational excellence is another one. So having the right procedures and policies in place to make sure that there's proper like risk mitigation protocols, and to make sure that you have the right, like the name says, the right procedures and policies in place to really operate on a very high level. Obviously, there's brand recognition that's going to be worked on. So marketing, growth campaigns. We have the pre-IDO, post-IDO, and post-product, strategies. We have the global rollout strategies. So we're currently focusing mostly in the Netherlands. From the Netherlands, it's like a test bed. It's a bit like the reality TV series shows. You know how they do it? They concentrate in one area. And usually they do it in the Netherlands. If it works here, then you can scale it immediately. Of course, we already have our global rollout planned. So we have certain core communities in certain countries which really cater for this kind of product. And that's where we're going to be rolling out then. And in the end, it's really just making the product super easy to use and intuitive, and the entire user experience, making it like very seamless. So making sure that the onboarding and offboarding off fiat into crypto and back out from the vaults directly is going to be super easy. So if that's there, then that's kind of like, those are kind of like the overarching strategic expansion rollouts.
Do you have any special partnerships that are coming up on the roadmap?
Yeah, I can't really say much about that, but yeah. So you understand like what kind of things we're doing. We're obviously targeting mass retail adoption. So we will be doing and looking for partners that are outside of crypto also, that, for example, do have similar style concepts or communities or traders, tooling, technical analysis, whatever. That essentially are trying to find an easy way to crypto, and this is like the way for them to come in as well. So we're also trying to bring outside market segments into the segment. So yeah, that's what, and then obviously the in crypto ones where it's just leverages our offering, for example, hedging with, let's say, option contracts down the way if you want to go short, let's say.
Nice options. Very nice. Yes. Can you tell me, please, in simple words, talk to to watch the guy which is watching this video. Why should we invest into the funds project? So instead of
Well,
other
you
DeFi's.
never,
So
yeah,
why?
you never
Why?
invest, you never invest, you contribute. and and hey, I'm not going to tell you what to do and what you shouldn't do. I'm just simply just telling you guys what we're doing. And yeah, if you're looking for a project that has big potential, proven in the market segment. So for example, I mean, what we're doing is we're not opening up a new market segment that is like unheard of, where we're testing out something that we don't know if it will work. I mean, copy trading is a huge business.
Yeah.
eToro is massive, huge market capitalization in the billions. Robinhood is not exactly the same, but also right there's a lot of retailers, and they have like massive volume every year. The fees are not ideal. Like, I don't know if you ever traded on one of those platforms, centralized order books on these retail platforms. They have, for example, secondary order books. So if you're market buying or selling, you're getting filled somewhere else with different orders. You're getting filled on a different slippage. Your margins, like if you're going leverage, are probably not the exact levels they should be. If you're doing the calculations yourself, you realize like they're off. So like that's not going to happen. So the market is big.
Yeah.
There is copy trading is a big market. We're not reinventing the wheel. The models that we're using will definitely yield revenue to the ecosystem, and they're not new models either. They're very proven old models, and so we're just bridging it all together and bringing it all into one big pile.
Okay.
Great.
Daniel, I don't know if you want Astro. I don't know if you want to go to maybe questions from the chat. We seem to have a few great questions.
By the way, also everybody can use this platform, right? Like, so it's DeFi. So as long as you have a wallet, you can connect to it. We'll see what happens with the new regulations on MiCA on the European side. The SEC is already, like, if you're American, you're already screwed anyway. So they try to keep you poor over there, and
they're trying to kill crypto.
Well, they're being harsh. Let's put it that way. The US is being harsh. MiCA regulation is also not expected to be the easiest. The implementation of the fifth anti-money laundering directive is going to be definitely enforced. Currently, it's just a directive to give oversight, but they're going to implement it into the law, as far as I'm aware. So that's anti-money laundering directives, and it could then be that they do ask for KYC on wallets and stuff like that. So yeah, that's something to bear in mind.
Great. So let's read some of the questions in the chat. So Tolga is asking, will funds copy trading mechanism be able to implement into any platform as a white label? No, but I guess we already answered to this question.
Yeah, we will expand network what's it called, support on other networks. Yes, once we get there.
Great. So if you notice any trader also working with other platform like funds, what mechanism do you apply?
Oh, what is that?
Not very clear question.
I'm not exactly sure what that means, the question.
If Tolga is still here, it can explain us a
maybe
little
clarify.
Yeah.
So maybe we can skip to the next one. Is there going to be a ceiling on the number of users per trader and total contributed value per trader to prevent oversaturation of a particular position?
Yeah, so that's totally up to the trader. So whenever they make a vault, so maybe it's good to highlight like the two users of this platform. One is obviously the trader. The trader, what they do is they create a vault. Essentially, it's like an account in the traditional way, if you think about it that way. So they create a vault, and as they create a vault, it's their parameters that they get to decide. So like they get to decide the management fee, the performance fee, the redemption fee. They can decide who is allowed to deposit into their vault. Like I said before, you can make it public or private. You can limit the number of deposits or the amounts. You can say you need a minimum of 1,000 USDT, for example, to deposit in, but you can also minimum the maximum. So and eventually you can close vaults off to the public if you want, right? So you can really, like, there's two ways to do it: private vaults, where you do it privately, and you can do it for friends or not, or family or whatever, or public, where you want to scale it. So yeah, there's all these parameters are variables that the trader decides with a maximum. So you can only maximally take 3% performance and 30% performance, sorry, and 3% management, which is like a high fund-like model essentially. Yeah, so those are the maxes that are drawn out, and otherwise everything is a variable. Oh, and I was telling about the users, sorry. And so that's the trader. And then the second one is the retail user, of course. And for them, it's just, they will see the dashboard. They will see who are the best. When you search on our platform, we also have an algorithm that ranks the vaults by certain parameters like volume, traded volume, average deposit size, and like a variety of parameters. So you see the active vaults, but as a trader, you just see the best performing vaults, for example, or you can go search for your friends' vaults, and then you just deposit in with 1 or 2 clicks of a button, and that's it. And then you can have a dashboard where you track it. So it's really to make it, just making it super simple for retailers. That's essentially what the goal here is.
Nice.
Okay. Do you think, from Dennis Waringa, do you think that funds will have the ability to level with other copy trading platforms? And if yes, how do you reckon this will be done?
It's different. So we're not in centralized finance. So it's a different approach. So this is like way more inclusive, way more accessible, way easier to set up. So yeah, if we do it right, I reckon we're going to take a lot of that volume away and a lot of those users. Plus, okay, plus it's like, yeah, it's also a different approach. So I mean, if your portfolio gets big enough one day, you will see that you deploy various strategies on various parts of your portfolio. So you're not going to put 100% to doing one thing. So you could, for example, say, oh, I want to have like 40% spot long exposure on the majors, another 30% I'd like to allocate to some medium altcoins, for example. And then you say, oh, the other 30%, I'll split 15% automated bots on centralized exchanges where you have credit risk, for example. If the exchange get hacked, your funds are gone. Or you're like, I'm going to let one of the funds DeFi copy traders trade the other fraction. So like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, there's you don't have to, it's not mutually exclusive to one another. Yeah.
And also everyone from everywhere can join. I mean, you basically need a wallet, a MetaMask, for example.
That's right. You just need a wallet, and then you again, you need the only thing that could be the barrier is the fiat on-ramp, that you don't have capital in wallets. But that is why I explained already that we have the payment integration services that do it in like 2 to 4 minutes. You can go from credit to debit card into your wallet. You have your stables, and then it's literally 1 or 2 clicks of a button, and you're following. So I mean, like, how much easier can you make it? You know?
Yeah, no, that's really
that's it. It's like the barrier of entrance is just really put it in super low, so that it's just so easy to do, and so it's just such a no-brainer. That's what it needs to be. So
yeah, just do it. I mean,
yeah, exactly. It's really going to give you it's really going to give you an advantage, especially if you have no experience. We have the classic question from basically everyone in any chat. Do you have an ideal date, or do you know if it's going to come up soon in the announcements?
What the listing, the launch?
Yes,
yeah, you're going to hear it. We just so this is not official information yet, so you're going to circulate it in a bit. But we just got our audits back, so we're going to be announcing an official announcement now with the fixed date. We're today or tomorrow. Yeah, exactly. Amazing. So you're just stay tuned. Yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
quite soon. Another question arrived, a very nice one. Will Funds platform have extensive notification mechanism for users? Will it be customized to follow traders?
You want to have like anxiety, like Blockfolio gives you every 2 seconds. Yeah, well, that's a good question.
I mean,
I'm not. We'll see to make it so that there is no like anxiety-induced decisions that are being made because the swings are crazy. But yeah, there will be some notifications. Yeah.
Yeah, I think also if it's something all transparent in the blockchain, I know personally a lot of bots that you can use to track what an address is doing. So this is also something really transparent, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, all the P&L is on chain, right? So like, what if you create a vault and then you trade in that vault? I mean, the trades are there. You will always see it. You can't tamper with it. So it's like a great validation mechanism of like the good traders over time. Also, yeah.
I also have a
You don't have
question.
to.
Yeah,
Oh,
I have a
sorry.
question also.
Mhm.
When I join a vault, then how can I get back, let's say, my money after 1 month, or it
Yeah.
is something that is set
No,
up from the
you
beginning?
can withdraw it whenever the hell you want, like literally. If you withdraw it early before crystallization period, there's a small redemption fee. So so in order to disincentivize like going in and out, obviously, right? To just like jump from one to the other, that makes no sense. So you should also be selecting the ones that you want to follow properly. But essentially, you can leave any day, any moment, any time, and that's what it is. So you have total freedom. And
Yes.
if you leave, for example, so let's say you get out of the vault. Okay, let's say the trader does 100% performance. So the fee is subjectively, so the fee is applied when you exit, and you get the remainder of the P&L into your wallet. This will be done in stables. The denomination of all of the vault assets will be in stables, and then you essentially can withdraw via that payment service provider that I'm talking about. You will see who that is. Also, you can directly deposit back into your bank account if you want. So yeah,
Nice. And there
like
is
it's in and
also,
out. So the
yeah.
friction is very little. So yeah.
And the trader was running the vault. I mean, how he will benefit directly? He can close the vault and get his part, let's
Oh, so
say.
there's a crystallization period, which means that there is a date at which the fees will be calculated and subtracted, right? So the crystallization period is also that can also be decided by the trader. So some do it on a more regular basis, other will do like longer intervals. So that's really up to them as well. And whenever the crystallization period is due, the fees are deducted, but only if they're above a high water mark. So only if they're realizing performance, obviously.
Nice.
Like you're not going to pay unless the traders actually make you money, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Okay.
Also, one last question we can ask, Valentino.
Sure. Go for it.
Tolga is asking if there is some kind of report mechanism if you find a copy trader doing something suspicious or malicious. This is a way to report to traders or some kind of
So
check.
in order, yeah. So if there's so to do something malicious, like okay, I think like okay, so this is like user protection. That's what he's talking about. So in order to protect users, for example, we actually do something. We curate the assets that are being traded. So for example, on Ethereum and BSC, we select the assets that are being traded. You can't just have all kinds of horseshit tokens being traded on there, especially with like low volume or very low market capitalization, because there you can really manipulate price with very little capital. So we're very aware of that. Just bear in mind that we're traders, all of us, like for extensive amount of time in crypto. I've traded very illiquid stuff myself. I know like how these things work. So what we do to protect the user is that we have certain threshold parameters that enable an asset to be traded and to be essentially accessible via funds. So we're not going to let you trade 100 MCAP $1,000 24-hour volume tokens. It's not going to happen. You have to have a certain minimum volume per day, a certain market capitalization, and based on and further requirements, of course, and based on that, you then get added to a list. So then you can actually so the funds traders can then actually trade these assets. So that's falls under user protection, and this is how we're protecting retail users also to not be left holding some random ass stuff that just popped up one day. Yeah, so it will only be the selected good ones.
Great. So I can't, or anyone can't just launch a token and pump his own token.
No. Never
in this earth.
No. We're gonna be protecting our users. You know, like that's not gonna happen. No. User protection is imperative.
Yes.
That's
great.
amazing.
Great.
Okay. Very good. So we're in safe hands.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Ideally. There is no safe hands in crypto.
No, we know, but at least we're going to be protected.
Look, we're trying our best to do everything in a good way to protect users, to increase user experience. Our experience is coming from regulated, personally, I come and I created a regulated on-ramp into crypto and out to fiat, and both ways, right? So the rules are clear. We know how to operate within the law. We understand trading. We understand how asset composition works. We understand what can move price based on low caps, low volume, and how easy it is to do that. So the understanding of the market is quite significant, especially of the infrastructure. So we're quite confident that we can protect users more than a lot of other projects in this regard.
Really, really great. How the platform will pick his fees? I mean, the funds platform will deduct some fees on these vaults, I guess. So someone is asking in the chat.
Yeah, that's on the crystallization periods, right? So those are defined by the traders. So whenever they decide the cutoff period, this is when the fees will be deducted. It's all just automated. So they don't have to worry about anything. Okay. Everything just happens in the back. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Valentino, for your time.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you to all the watcher, to all the guys that asked all these nice questions. Jay, anything left?
No, just a big thank you to Valentino. This was really great. I mean, you speak very well, explain very well and clearly. I think we got a lot of great information from you today.
Yeah, I mean, look, you can always, we're going to be doing more AMAs and stuff like that. So, I mean, there's way more information that we probably haven't conveyed in a way that that is known. But like, I hope you guys understood what we're doing better now, and that it's. And I'm also really excited to show you guys the demo, which is ready pretty much soon. So like, that's gonna be really helpful for everybody to really solidify the understanding of what it is that we're building. Built.
We're very anxious for that. The platform looks very promising for sure.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Valentine.
Yeah, of course. Have a nice day, guys.
Cheers.
Yeah.